Star Wars fans, what's up? It's John. I'm here with my good friend Justin.
Hey guys, how are you?
We just got back from watching Rogue One,
Yes, we did.
and wow. So just first and foremost, there are going to be some spoilers in this video. So if you haven't seen Rogue One and you don't want any spoilers,
Probably just stop watching.
stop watching, come back, watch it after you see the movie, of course.
Yeah, there's this pretty much. We're gonna pretty much lay out the whole thing, and
Okay, so Justin, let me ask you, what were your impressions, or going into it, what were your expectations for the movie?
I had expectations of a 7 out of 10 movie. So just a kind of midway movie. I thought it was gonna be a spin-off. Wasn't really thinking it was gonna be anything totally awesome, but I was still excited for it. I wanted to see what Disney was gonna do, making a second like an offshoot movie.
Yeah.
So I wasn't expecting anything. Yeah, I kept my hopes middle.
Okay.
Range. Yeah.
I did a video prior to this one, and I asked a question to you guys: do you think this movie will be a disappointment?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't necessarily think it was going to be a disappointment. I thought it was interesting. I mean, there's no really Jedi in the movie outside of, I guess, Darth Vader is a Sith, but we don't see a use of a lightsaber until like the last 10 minutes of the film. 2 minutes of the film. Yeah, last 2 minutes of the film.
If that. I mean, that's the only time you see a lightsaber in the movie at all. So,
which is cool. So it's definitely more story driven. I'll be honest with you. I liked this movie better than Episode 7.
Oh, by far.
By far.
By far, yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong.
Because you liked Episode 7.
Episode
you
7,
loved Episode 7.
Actually, I loved Episode 7. It was really, really good. But the overall, just how this movie made me feel walking out of that theater, like, you and me were sitting there in the seats, and it was just like, what just happened? Like, wow. I mean, I'm still trying to, like, that's why I wanted to do this tonight, was because even though I got to be up at work early in the morning, I'm like, I'm still processing what just happened.
Yeah, definitely. And it went, there's a lot of Easter eggs in the movie, which I loved.
Yeah. So, I mean, I saw one, you didn't catch it, and I'm going to go ahead and say there was on Yavin 4, there was the ghost ship from the Rebel series, the cartoon,
Yeah.
the one that I forget her name, whatever the Twi'lek does. She rides that ship, the Ghost, or the Phantom, whatever it's called.
Yeah.
That was there. You could see it for a second on Yavin 4. I got all excited.
That's a cool Easter egg, yeah, for sure. You run into, I forget, I'm drawing a blank on his name too, but the guy in the cantina scene in Episode 4, he's like, you'll be dead if you miss, like, what, you better watch where you're going.
Yeah, it was that guy with like the weird pig nose or something, and then they had his little buddy. The guy who gets his arm cut off.
Yeah.
He was there. They bumped into him.
And I know their names, and I'm not drawing a blank on their names. But anyway, they were in the movie. They were probably one of the first Easter eggs I noticed.
Yeah, that was one of the first ones.
C-3PO, R2-D2 make like a brief appearance in the film.
Yep. It was always...
Man, the end with Leia.
That blew me away to see, because I mean I don't know what technology they used, but they used some sort of CGI facial recognition.
The same technology they used. I don't know if you saw the new Tron.
I haven't seen the new Tron.
Okay, so the new Tron, is it Jeff Bridges, whoever is in that movie? I forget okay, I'm forgetting a whole bunch of names, but the actor who played in that movie, they made him a younger character in the movie. So they basically had him play it, and they CGI'd his face, right?
Right.
So that's basically how they did that. And so they took that technology and applied to Star Wars. So they could potentially make new Star Wars films using the old characters doing this method.
Like a Han Solo movie?
Like a Han Solo movie. Yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah. Grand Moff Tarkin obviously was in the film as well.
Yeah.
I kind of knew he was going to be in the film, and Darth Vader obviously.
I didn't know Grand Moff Tarkin was going to be in it, but I knew Vader was going to be in it because from the trailers, and I didn't know Leia was going to be in it.
I was not expecting Leia in it. I was not expecting Bail Organa to be in it.
Oh, that was the big one that I saw. Like, because you see him, I thought he was just going to be an Easter egg, but he ended up actually talking. But I was like, whoa, that's him.
Yeah. Well, that's a link between the prequels and the newer films, right?
Yeah.
And kind of bridges the gap. And towards one part of the movie, one thing I'm kind of trying to understand is one part of the movie he leaves. He's like, I gotta go home. And he kind of loses. I got to tell someone. And one guy comments, he's like, better be somebody you can trust. And he's like, I know who I can trust. And obviously he's alluding to Princess Leia.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Then you fast forward to the end of the film, and they're on the ship, right? And they had the plans, and it shows Leia. But so there must have been a gap where he went home and communicated to Leia that.
Yeah. So basically, what I'm guessing happened is in between them, the Rebels, the Rogue One team left. And he must have sent him either a transmission or went back into there. But did you notice the big thing that he said when Mon Mothma walked past? I think it was Mon Mothma who said it to him. we need your Jedi friend.
Oh yeah.
Oh
Yeah,
my god.
Yeah, obviously referring to Obi-Wan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, I got goosebumps just thinking about it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, yeah.
They did link, and I was not expecting the film. I mean, I knew it was going to lead up to episode 4, but I did not expect it to lead like directly up to episode 4. Like pretty much
Like
the next scene.
The next scene would have been episode 4.
Yeah.
And man, that last 10 minutes was just so intense. Probably like one of the most intense endings I've seen to a Star Wars film. So one of the big things that I wanted to touch on, and I don't know if you wanted to get into this yet, but Darth Vader in this movie. Yeah. What did you think of his appearance?
The red eyes threw me off a little bit. I'll be honest with you.
Oh yeah.
I was not expecting the red eyes. I noticed he did like the pointing the finger, like he did the classic Darth Vader move. Towards the end, he's a badass.
Oh my god!
And I guess that's one knock on episode 4 that I love episode 4 obviously.
Oh yeah.
But one knock I have is the duel. The Darth Vader's not a badass enough because he's a badass. And in this film, he's like literally throwing guys around left and right. He's lifting the ceiling, and he's got his lightsaber, and like
he gutted a guy. Crazy. Like he threw the guy to the ceiling, was blocking all these people, held a blaster bolt, sliced one open, and shot the blaster bolt back at someone.
Yeah.
And just, I mean, he slaughtered an entire room of rebels like it was nothing. So if you guys have seen, I don't want to spoil too much, but like the Rebels show, you just caught up.
I just caught up to end of season 2. I'm now watching, season 3, so I'm getting caught up to that.
And now we're about at the same spot now. So the ending of season 2, this is going to be a spoiler for that, was Darth Vader and Ahsoka fighting. And
do you think she survived or what?
I think she did.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I know she did. You can see her walking away. I'll show you in the scene.
That's right, because she's a part. Okay,
yeah, you see a shadow walking.
Okay.
So she made it, but Darth Vader sound identical. He basically was. It was basically.
Well, James Earl Jones voiced that character too as well.
Yeah, I mean, it was identical. It was I don't know. It was like pitch perfect. It was like I was watching Rebels, but in real life.
Yeah. So in Rebels, he has the red eyes.
The only thing that did throw me off the most, besides the eyes, was the cape, and the way his helmet was sitting on the cape.
Oh, that's true.
That threw me off a lot, but I can deal with it because
who played him in this movie? Do you know?
I didn't get the name. I saw the names and I said them to you, and I don't remember. There were no one that I knew. Yeah. I mean, if it was Matt Lanter, I'd just be like, "Oh my gosh," but it's not. I don't even know what Matt Lanter.
Hayden Christensen. No.
No. Now, what'd you think of him in the Bacta tank?
That was cool.
That was so crazy.
Yeah. He was in like this tub. Yeah, back.
There was like a big back. There was the scene in the trailer.
When you first saw him, like yeah.
You could just see the back of his head bald, and you could just see a body, like in
floating
the back.
In the water.
Yeah, and then they just all of a sudden he's in it, and when you see him for the first, I mean, the crowd went crazy. Yeah. When they saw him for the first time, so, but it's,
if Ahsoka would have showed up, you would have probably pissed yourself.
I would have made more than that. Let's just say I'd have to change my clothes afterwards. Not to be too vulgar, but I was expecting to see Ahsoka. I mean, if I saw Ezra Bridger or like Kanan in there, I would have just been like flipping a lid. This movie will mean so much more to you if you're caught up on Rebels, or if you've at least seen the season finale of Rebels. If you've seen it, then this will make. I mean, it'll make it so much better.
Yeah, that's true.
So,
if you haven't seen Rebels, and granted, we've probably spoiled most of it for you.
Yeah,
but
you have to see the battle so you can get that feeling.
Yeah,
so.
It's a really well done cartoon for sure. Animated series, yeah. But back to Rogue One. What are some things that you didn't really care for it?
The only thing was that I didn't get to see more of the Rogue One team, like the two Asian guys, Chirrut Imwe, I think this is how you pronounce it now, Donnie Yen, and Baze Malice, the guy with the I'm looking at
machine gun.
We're looking at this.
Badass, dude.
There's his machine gun.
He has like a backpack with a whole just a whole bunch of chain of.
Yeah, I just wish I could have seen more of them, and I wish I could have seen more of the what was his name, the guy from Clone Wars, the black guy, African American. He was the leader of a rebel group in Clone Wars. I can't remember his name off the top of my head, but he was in there. You only see him for a little bit, and
oh really?
He's the one that Jin goes to. Like that's his friendly friend.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, him. This guy. Yeah. So.
And he was in
Clone Wars. I'll show you. Yeah, he was
Clone
actually
Wars.
in the Clone Wars.
In the cartoon?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he was in the cartoon. So, to see him go really quickly was kind of... The whole thing is they have to put all this stuff into 2 hours.
Yeah, that's true.
So, but the way that they presented it was just fantastic.
Yeah.
So
it's a great movie, and I definitely recommend it. The few things I guess I didn't care for it. I don't like the fact that the rebels kind of look like ISIS, like in part of the movie.
Okay,
right?
that was a big thing. Like a large portion.
Like, are we in Like, are we in the
Yeah.
Middle East here? Like,
Well, they were terrorists. That's
yeah.
what they were. So
Right,
I mean, they were portraying a rebellion group. It was just, I mean, I thought it was cool, but I could definitely see where the turnoff could be just
Yeah.
because of like how relevant that was. But I think they actually took a big risk by doing that because they straight up looked like the Taliban,
yeah.
like straight up.
Another question I have is Castian, right? The character,
Cassian.
Castian. He shot one of the rebels, and he fell from the bridge. Remember that scene where? And why did he do that? The guy with a bomb. There was a rebel with a bomb. Who was going to throw the bomb on the brigade, and he shot him off the bridge. And why did he do that?
Remind me where this was.
This is where the tank comes through, and they're a planet, and there's a tank, and
Because okay, so from my understanding, is there's the Rebel Alliance, and then this guy's team.
he's a rogue.
He's a rogue for
with
the
lack of a
Rebel
better
Alliance.
term. Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe we'll do is actually we just show this.
Oh yeah, this is a poster.
Yeah, this is the poster we got from the movie.
It has IMAX at the very bottom of it.
Yeah, we saw it in IMAX. I don't know if you can see it very clearly. This guy here is who we're talking about. He's the one where his team, they're all rogue, like total rogues. Like they will kill anyone. So they actually grabbed him and took them prisoner. Like the rogue team, Cassian and Jin, they took him and kept him prisoner. Like they were ready to kill him.
Right.
So because they didn't know who it was. So it was like, it's like being in the middle of a battle between two different forces. So you don't know who's who.
Okay.
That's what I'm guessing.
Okay.
That's the only.
It kind of threw me off because clearly he knew that guy was trying to fight the stormtroopers, and he still shot him. So it just kind of like threw me off. He did almost like he didn't want the bomb to be thrown on these stormtroopers, which that part of the movie didn't really. The music, not John Williams' music. There's only really two parts of the movie that I recognize the tunes. There was a point with Darth Vader, they played his theme song when he appeared. There was another part, maybe for like 10 seconds, they played the typical Star Wars theme song that you typically hear. And at the very end, during the credits, you start hearing the Rebel song that they play.
I heard. What was that? Go ahead.
Go ahead. No, I was going to say, what do you think of the music?
Music. I mean, it's great for what it was. I like John Williams. I mean, I have all the CDs from Star Wars from back in the day. So, but they did the Imperial March, which was Darth Vader. They did a little bit of New Hope. I heard that, and then they did do the Rebels theme from the cartoon.
Yeah.
So that was cool.
Yeah.
And I think that's. And in the end, when they do the ending.
Yeah.
One of the biggest things. Okay, I do have one nitpick. There was no crawl. I knew there wasn't going to be a crawl, but it needed one.
The very beginning, yeah.
I mean, that's like one of the only things.
It said a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. ... And then it just went to like.
Then it just went straight to them going in.
Yeah. Another thing that was kind of weird is every time they introduced a planet, like Adam, who was with us, he mentioned and brought up a good point. But every time they showed a planet, they had like the name of the planet, like Yavin 4 or whatever it might be, which they've never done that in Star Wars before.
Yeah, or they would show like Scarif, like Imperial Outpost.
Like I don't think that's necessary, to be honest with you. Like they explain the planet, and I don't know, that seems more something like you'd see.
Do you think that this could be just a new style that they're going for these side stories because we're going to see things we've never seen before?
It's possible. I mean, it didn't take away from the film. I mean,
No.
I'm not nitpicking to the point where like it's ruined the experience for me.
Oh no, not at all. This is just different. I agree with you 100%.
Just different things that I recognize in this film that you don't necessarily see in other Star Wars films.
Yeah, no, I had the same impression. I was like,
you know.
what just happened? Like, I didn't understand why they had that because it didn't need it before. But
I knew this going into this. I expected this movie to be dark. I even told you before the filming that we went in. I said, this film is going to be dark, and everyone is going to die because you don't see these people in episode 4. So if they were to survive, how come we don't see these guys in the future episode 4 and 5 and 6? The character for me, and I'm going to ask you this question after I explain.
Sure.
My favorite character, K2, the droid. He is a badass. So he brings a comedic kind of presence to the film.
Comic relief.
He's very funny. But dude, he plays like the Rambo towards the end of the film. Like he is the one badass.
Yeah, he basically 15 guys or something and just takes them all out and goes down swinging.
That's one thing I love about Star Wars is the droids always have a personality, whether it's R2 or BB-8 or K2. I mean, they all have personality.
K2 fit in perfectly.
But K2 fit in perfectly. He had a really important role in the film, kind of showing where to get the plans, basically. And he sacrificed himself for the sake of the Rebel Alliance, which is cool. But to me, that character stole the show. He was awesome.
Yeah, I mean he's a close second to my favorite.
Okay,
which is gonna be out of everyone, and I think you already knew what was coming. Is Chirrut Imwe.
Oh yeah, he was badass.
I knew before I even saw the movie he was gonna be my favorite, and he ended up being my favorite, mainly just because it's like this entire movie, like the whole theme of this movie was sacrifice, and like that was like the element.
Yeah, that's true.
And to see, like, how spiritual he was, and it's like I'm not a religious person, but damn, dude, I almost cried when he died.
Yeah.
Like,
he's force sensitive, not necessarily a Jedi, but I feel that he was force sensitive.
So, and this is something that I'm going to be writing about on your page. Is like I want to figure this out because apparently, like Laura Santeca and Chirrut Imwe, I keep calling him by his real name. They are like part of a religion. Like they destroyed the holy city in the movie. That was the first target that the Death Star destroyed, and that's apparently where all the Jedi were, like the last remaining force sensitive people. So, like they were like a religion. So, I don't know. They saw he could obviously use the force. I mean, he could sit there and see things, and he's blind.
Yeah.
So I don't know how he dodged all those bullets and all those.
The force is strong with him.
Yeah, and so he kept repeating the same thing over and over. It was like a mantra, and it was really, really cool.
Yeah.
I don't remember exactly what it was, but it was really good, and he worked really well with the base.
The force is with me, or what did he say? It was like,
the force is with me, and I am one with the force.
yeah, force is with me, I'm one with the force.
I think that's what he said, and that was his mantra that he would say, and sometimes that got a little annoying when he said it over and over and over and over. But damn, he has some moves. He was pulling some Ip Man moves in them. He was really good.
Yeah.
So, yeah, he's hands down my all-time favorite. I mean, Cassian is up there. I mean, they're all freaking fantastic.
There's almost a romance between Jyn and Cassian. I felt like there was a romance connection towards. They didn't end up technically kissing in the film. Towards the end, they were hugging.
They shared their last moment
together. But I felt there was like. I don't know if you felt that too. I felt there was a very strong connection between the two.
Mm-hmm.
He tried to basically assassinate her dad.
Yeah.
And she calls him out on it, and then he realizes like, oh shit, I was wrong. And but then I think they got closer just to do all that, through the experiences they shared.
Yeah, basically. I mean, he almost died before her, and he was the kind of savior who came and saved her last minute so they could upload those plans. Oh god, I'm still just remembering everything that happened in that movie, man.
Yeah.
So basically, yeah, they definitely had something there for the last bit.
The Death Troopers were badass too.
So
I feel like the Death Troopers were like, they're kind of like the Navy SEALs of the Stormtroopers.
Oh,
I mean, they are badass.
If I remember correctly, and I know you didn't play this game, but there was Jedi Knight 2, Jedi Outcast that came out, and I think that's the first time I ever saw a Death Trooper, and they portrayed it so well in this movie. Like, the only thing I didn't like was their static from their the way they talked. They talked a little. They
talked differently.
I wanted it to be deeper sounding, kind of like with Kyle Ren's voice. Like I really wanted it to be a deeper tone.
Yeah.
What do you do?
They did sound like more muffled, kind of.
Yeah, it was kind of just like, oh, get out of here, stop over there. But the beach troopers, the shore troopers, the ones with like the kind of like yellow tint armor.
Right.
Scarif in general was just gorgeous.
Yeah. It's true. Yeah, a lot of.
I felt like it was Normandy Beach that we were watching.
Oh yeah, for sure. And then like they brought ATSTs and the AT-ATs, which was cool. The only part that doesn't really make sense to me towards the end, Darth Vader, he kills all those troopers, the rebels, and then he sees a ship flying off. Why does he not take the Force and like grab the ship and like just?
There's one of two things that it could be. One is he likes the thrill of the chase and he wanted to chase them for whatever reason, or it was just a flaw. They just screwed up.
Or because if you would have done that, there would have been no episode 4, right? So,
exactly. Oh yeah,
if you would have destroyed the ship.
Now there's one. Now we're gonna probably botch this because I can't remember the call signs from episode 4. But you did get to see some of the people who were part of the Death Star run. Yeah. So there was Gold Leader,
Wedge,
and Red Leader. So I think Red Leader was Wedge.
Yeah.
Nor was it Biggs.
Red Leader, I think, is Biggs. Red Leader is Biggs.
Okay, then Gold Leader must be Wedge. So
because Biggs was in charge of the X-wings. Yeah.
And you heard who was the guy who actually made the first shot at the exhaust port?
That was Wedge, wasn't it? No,
May have been Wedge.
Yeah.
I just picture when I see Wedge,
There's
I think
Wedge.
of someone younger. But anyways,
We're gonna get reamed if we don't remember.
we're gonna get destroyed for misinformation. But basically,
Sure
it was
was.
nostalgic because it was like, and I'm gonna be watching the movie like 2 more times tomorrow. So
Yeah.
after work. But
So
wow.
okay, so how come there was no Admiral Akbar? We have the Admiral, but he looks like Admiral Akbar, but like a fat Admiral Akbar, and he's got a different Admiral. What I forget his name.
I know. I thought we would
But like, why would they not throw Akbar in there? Why they make a new like?
maybe the guy who voiced him didn't died. I don't know, because like I was like, why didn't they at least put him in like one of the commander chairs as like a general or like a younger admiral? Like he is an admiral. Yeah, I forgot their name already.
Calamari? No.
Con Calamari. Mon Calamari.
Mon Calamari.
Mon Calamarians. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So those guys, yeah, that was different. They were like these big, chubby, older ones.
Yeah.
So, and white ones.
Yeah.
There was albino ones. I didn't get that one.
The albino ones. Yeah. Overall, though, I definitely would rank it higher than episode 7 for me.
Yeah. Oh no, for me too.
Higher than I really liked episode 3. I'll be honest. I liked episode 3 a lot.
I did too.
Empire Strikes Back is still my favorite. I still like the original movies. I still rank them up top 3 just for nostalgic reasons and stories and stuff. But I would put this 4th.
Okay. My ranking will be different than yours, but we have the same first and same second.
Yeah.
Which is Empire and then New Hope.
New Hope.
And I'm actually gonna put Rogue One as number 3.
Wow.
And I'm gonna put Empire, and then I'm gonna put Force Awakens, and I'm gonna put last.
What?
I can't even talk.
Revenge of the Sith.
No, Return of the Jedi.
Return of the Jedi.
So let's redo that here.
Return of the Jedi 6th.
So it's gonna be number 1 is Empire, number 2 is New Hope, number 3 is Rogue One, number 4 is Force Awakens, number 5 is Return of the Jedi, Revenge of the Sith, and then I think it's Clone Wars, then Phantom Menace.
Okay.
That's subject to change too, because I'm gonna watch this a couple more times, and then I'm gonna watch the whole series in like on a Christmas break. I'm gonna watch the whole thing.
I go Empire, New Hope. I'd go Return. I'd do Rogue One, Revenge of the Sith. And then I would probably go Force Awakens after Revenge of the Sith, and then I would do Episode 1, and I would put the Star Wars Holiday Special. And I would do the 2 Ewok films, and then I would do the Star Wars Clone Wars, and then the very bottom I would put Episode 2. I'm not a fan of Episode 2 just because the romance and the Yoda fight scene was cool, but I'm just not a fan.
If we can cut out like the first 2 hours of that movie and just leave the last 20 minutes,
right?
It would have been great. But that's the same with Episode 1. If you could just take out almost everything, but I can understand you like the pod races; those were cool.
Yeah, Darth Maul, one of my favorite characters. Qui-Gon is one of my favorite characters. So. Yes, Jar Jar is not that great, and there's parts of Episode 1 I didn't care for.
Why didn't they just make Jar Jar darker?
Yeah.
If they would have made him like a darker character and not an annoying little piece of crap.
Well, Lucas wanted to appeal to the kids, younger audience, so that's why he brought the Ewoks. That's why he did all this stuff in the films. Disney hasn't really done that, which I think is good. I love the attention to detail. Everything from the mustaches that the Rebels have to like it just makes it look very retro 80s style. Mustaches, that these guys wear. So.
And you doing your other channel, it's like retro's kind of in now.
Right.
Like anything 80s, like video games and pop culture is all coming back. Stranger Things, all these things are 80s influenced.
In fact,
loaned you the soundtrack. So that's a whole nother video right there. Anyways, but this, okay, I think maybe the best thing we should do is, what was your favorite part of the entire movie?
The Darth Vader scene.
Oh my God.
The end. Where he's just throwing trooper or rebel guys on and using his lightsaber, and that's incredible.
There was one scene, I think, towards the beginning when you first see Cassian assassinate that guy, the informant. He just boom right in the back.
Yeah.
And you and me both sat there and we're just like, what?
Yeah.
Because this is like not a movie where the rebels are really like the absolute good guys. Right. They're kind of dark.
They are very dark, and they're very young, and they're still. Really no leader, I don't think at this point. I mean,
Mon Mothma is just kind of like the
she's there, but she's chairman. But they're really
you see them like the Confederacy, like the remember from like Clone Wars, like they had the group of people. It was like an ally thing. What do you call that? The Confederacy. They had all the people with the heads of all the supporting.
Oh, like they had a chair, like
democracy. It was like so that's how they were. They had chair members and all these different people were.
But they didn't have anyone like Jin tried her best to like get everyone rallied together.
Right, and they wanted to surrender.
Yeah, and that's why they kind of broke off and did their own thing. Eventually, they said, okay, we're going to help you out. You help the fight, which ended up being obviously the right move. But yeah, it makes you wonder if at the end, like if they understand, like Jen and all them understood, like when they sent the signal out that they got it. You know, there was really no confirmation on there that they got it or not. They just kind of
I mean, they just had to do it, and I think my favorite scene, because that's the obvious favorite scene, I think for everybody. But my other favorite was the when they were leaving Yavin 4, like they were like, you know, they got this team together and they were all like, we're just gonna do it.
Yeah.
So just, that movie made
me
in
a nutshell, check this movie out. I'm sure you have. If you watch this video, I'm sure you've already seen it, because otherwise we'd spoil it for you, and we apologize for that. But thank you guys for
actually one more thing I did want to ask. If you were to give it a number,
like scale 1 to 10,
1 to 10, what would you give it?
I'd give it like a 9.
I'm giving it a 9 as well.
Yeah, give it
9 out of 10.
9 out of 10.
Hey.
Yeah. You know, the only thing that would make it a 10 was maybe get rid of the stuff the nitpick stuff that we.
If it was a 10, it would have a crawl in the beginning. It would take the little stuff out, and we would put an Admiral Akbar in there.
Yeah, for sure. Thanks for watching, guys. Leave a comment below. Subscribe. Justin, where can people find you?
You can find me on 8bitkitty.com. That's my website. That's gonna be being revamped, so we're gonna be changing that up. I have a little Star Wars page on there. You can find me as Jedi Knight Panic Pete 23 on your website. And I'll be starting Twitch. My handle on there is Panic Pete 23, and that'll be my new handle. I will start streaming here starting, I think, February. Pete Door's Game Room is going to be doing I'm sponsoring him for a month. He's going to be kind of promoting my channel while he does a playthrough for Panzer Dragoon Saga. So that'll kind of be my introduction to Twitch streaming, is him promoting me. And
dude, that's awesome.
Yeah,
that's cool.
Yeah, so that'll be good stuff. And I actually just texted him about Star Wars as well. You can also, I've done a few things with the guys from Galaxy Far, Far Away podcast. Go listen to them. I'm sure they're going to have a lot to say as well.
Of course. Well, it's always great to have you on the show. I love hanging out with you. We'll do it again. Check them out. If you're a gamer, check them out. If you love Star Wars, obviously you probably do if you're watching this video. Check them out. Thank you, Justin. And guys, leave a comment below. Thanks for subscribing and liking this video. We'll see you guys soon, and may the Force be with you.
May the Force be with you.
Thank you so much for watching, guys. If you guys want to stay in touch, please subscribe. Also, you can follow me on Facebook and Twitter. At my website, SWNet77.com. If you're interested in getting a Starwarsnut77 t-shirt, they're also available at chopshopgoods.com. Thanks for watching, and may the Force be with you.